Shalom Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ, here to announce and make it plain and known to you that today in Charlotte, North Carolina, we have our 7th school location here at 5105 Regan Drive. You're going to have a good time learning your history, learning the precepts on what we need to do to repent and how we can be delivered, how we will be delivered out of captivity. So come join us here at 5105 Regan Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. See you soon. You let me touch him, I could get him to curse you. The Lord said, all right, go ahead, but don't take his life. He only allowed Satan to do with so much. So when things happen to you, no, it's a trial for you. The Most High, he wants you to know where you're at in this truth. Give me 1 Corinthians 11:1.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Read that again.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Read it again.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
What does that mean? Say?
It means that we have to follow the elders, such as yourself, the deacons, captains, officers. There will be a man that we must follow as long as he's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
In order for the Most High to make, remember this, how many leaders is he going to make? According to Scripture. 144,000. In order for them to become leaders, they must first begin as what? Followers. You don't pop up, come out your mama's, well, I'm a leader. It don't happen like that. The Most High has men around you that's going to guide you. Okay? And that's what Paul was letting the brothers know in Corinth. Read that again.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Now get me Acts chapter 8. Acts chapter 8. What verse someone? Verse 30.
Acts chapter 8 and verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah,
Which is Isaiah.
and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me?
How can I understand except some man should guide me? Don't be fooled. You got these knuckleheads on Facebook talking about, I don't listen to nobody. The Holy Spirit comes and talks to me. That's a lie. You don't read that in the Bible. Lord comes down having a conversation. He said he spoke to one person face to face like that. Who was it? Moses.
Right.
And after that, there was Christ. That's it. You got all these idiots on Facebook. The Lord talks to me. No, that's a lie.
That's a blunt.
Yeah.
And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him.
So he wanted Philip, teach me the scriptures. Please teach me. That's the beginning of becoming a leader. You have to be a follower. Okay, from there, go to 1 Corinthians 4:16.
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16. Wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me.
Right?
For this cause have I sent unto you Timotheus, who is my beloved son, and faithful in the Lord, who shall bring you into remembrance of my ways, which be in Christ, as I teach everywhere in every church.
So just as Paul has done in the past, that's our example in these last days. That is our example. From there, go to Sirach 6 in the Apocrypha, verse 32. Sirach 6.
Sirach 6.
Wait. All right.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 32. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. If thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
I want you brothers to understand. That goes for the men anyway. But it's letting you know if you will be taught, it says if thou wilt. You got to first have that willing spirit. If thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind. So what we're giving you, the notes that y'all are taking, study those notes and take good notes. Next to the scriptures, put a note next to that verse, what that verse is about. If you just got scripture like Sirach 6:32, then tomorrow somebody says, hey, what is Sirach 6:32? You're like, I don't know. Now you got to go find it. Let me look for it. Well, if you had just put a note next to it, that's how you learn to take notes. I had to learn how to take notes. Black people don't know how to take notes. Okay? Put a note next to it. Apply your mind, you shall be taught. Quick little note. Something out of the verse that will make you, oh, this is what it's saying. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From there, let's go to Jude. The book of Jude. Right before Revelation. It's one chapter long. And we want verse 20.
Jude, verse 20. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves on your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Ghost.
So now, we give you the scriptures. But what is the key out of there for you to gain in your understanding? To grow, based on what we read in Sirach 6:32, I mean. Saying the same thing. Sirach 6:32 said, if you will, you shall gain the understanding. So what is this saying here? What is the key? Kazak.
Building up yourselves.
Right, building up yourselves. Meaning once we've given you the tools, the understanding, now it's up to you to build yourself up. That comes with studying to show yourself approved. Okay, so you cannot go to a gym. You look at the big buff brother in the corner working out, you just stand there and look at him, and you think you're going to get some muscles. It don't happen like that. You got to pick the weights up. Bend over, stretch. You got to put some work in. So likewise, building up yourselves, you got to open the book. Let me study, let me meditate on what this is saying. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, from there, let's go to 1 Timothy 3.
Verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house.
Wait, pause. That's heavy. How many brothers in here married? Raise your hand. Okay. How many brothers in here who's married, their wife does not attend class? So everybody's wife is good, right? Okay, read that again.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So, what I want you men to understand, I need you brothers to understand this thing. Once you overcome yourself, you got your own issues that you're going to deal with daily. You brothers got to know how to deal with your wife. Read it again.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So any hen-pecked brothers, the Most High ain't going to deal with you. You know what I mean by hen-pecked?
They know what yeah, that's a southern word. They know about that.
I had an uncle that was hen-pecked.
I remember that word when I was living down here. I know about that thing.
I don't. I was little. I was like 8. All the grown-ups, the men, would go horseback riding or something.
Yeah.
As soon as my Uncle James would get to the horse, you hear this annoying voice. Yes! It was my Aunt Mary. Come back here and watch the baby. Watch the baby. He sucked his teeth. All the grown-ups, now we was 8, we watching them. All the men look at him. He got to get off the horse. Go back. Take care of the kid. He the only grown man with the kids, with us. While the women was doing whatever they was doing, he had to watch us. He was mad, the other man was mad. I said, all us, we used to say, something ain't right with this. Something ain't right.
Take him in a dark hallway and beat him up.
Read that again.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So the Bible's saying you cannot take care of the church of God. You will never be a leader in the kingdom if you cannot deal first with your own house. You can't. It's impossible. Because your house is an extension of the church. Give me that in Ephesians 5, where it says that. Okay, somebody think I made it up. Ephesians 5, I think it's verse 32. I'm shooting from the hip.
Yes. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 32. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church.
Read from 31.
Verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery.
So marriage is a great mystery. Watch this.
But I speak concerning Christ and the church.
That's what I was saying. Your marriage with your wife is an extension. It represents Christ and Israel. That's what the whole thing represents. So if you can't deal with the woman, the Lord told you in Timothy, you can't deal with Israel. You henpecked. She telling you what to do. Shut up, sit down, go over there. You can't rule. You just sit back.
She get mad at that because she don't like to do that thing. She don't want to be telling you what to do. That ain't her nature. You make her mad. She can tell myself, I need a real man.
We see it many times.
See that?
Many times. All right, from there, go to Acts 1:13. I'm gonna touch on the women just a little bit. Let me touch on the sisters. There's a stupid Israelite doctrine. I was telling Officer Kazak, there's another camp out here in Charlotte. Just be mindful. We don't want no foolishness being brought through these doors. Like one doctrine is that women are not allowed to be in a congregation. That's not scriptural. Don't ever let these evil, weak Negroes fool you. Read that.
Acts chapter 1, verse 13. And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room, where were both Peter and James and John and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zealots, and Judas the brother of James. These all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women.
With who?
With the women.
Go ahead.
And Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with his brethren.
So don't ever let nobody tell you women are not allowed in the congregation. I just want to get that out there quick. That's evil and stupid. We're on the same slave ships together, but when it comes to the Lord, they got to go somewhere else. They can't be with us. It makes no damn sense. From there, give me Hebrews 10:25.
I think the camp want to replace them with the white woman.
Yeah, they want the white woman. That's what they want.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25.
This is for you brothers that would some women go, you say, my wife is so holy and righteous, but she always stay home. She never come to fellowship. Watch this.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
Read that again.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
So the Bible says don't forsake the assembling together, as the manner of some is. Because some people come in this truth and then they go, I don't got a fellowship with nobody. That's not biblical. That's a wicked Negro, someone doing something at home he don't want you to see. He or she don't want you to see. That's what that means. I'm just going to stay home and do me. What scripture is that? You hear that in the world. I'm going to do me, you do you. You can't come in this truth and make up your own laws, your own rules. The Lord ain't dealing with that. Read it again.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
So be careful when you hear men or women say, I don't have to fellowship with nobody. I don't got to come together with nobody. Ask them, well, what scripture is that? Because I'd like to read it. Get Jude verse 19. Well, here's the scripture. I'm going to give it to you. When you don't want to fellowship or come around brothers and sisters, this is it. Jude verse 19. Right before Revelation.
Jude chapter verse 19. These be they who separate themselves,
I'ma do me. Go ahead.
sensual, having not the Spirit.
They don't have the Spirit of God. They do not have the Spirit of the Most High on them. The Holy Spirit. They don't. That's a, you know. A nigga. In case you, what's he gonna say? That's what that is. Give me Tobit 86. Tobit in the Apocrypha. So when we come in this truth, everything got to change. You might not like being around people. Some people gonna get on your nerves. But guess what? You want to show the Most High that you have changed, you have reformed, that you want to inherit the kingdom. So we gonna do what this Bible says. You might get on my nerves, but I'm gonna learn to love you. The same way you learn, you go to work and you love that damn white man and white woman, you're gonna really learn to love your brother and sister. Okay, Tobit chapter 8, verse 6.
Tobit chapter 8, verse 6. Thou madest Adam and gave him Eve his wife for an helper and stay.
Y'all see that? That is what the Most High created the woman for. Read it again.
Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve his wife for an helper and stay.
So the woman is your helper. These sisters are your helper. It did not say doormat. Helper. Helper. Read it again.
Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve his wife for an helper and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
So the Lord knows it's not good for men to be alone. He says, let us make unto him an aid, a helper, like unto himself. That's their role. They are your helpers. Once we all fall in our proper position of what God says we're to do, we're going to get the kingdom. But the second the helper says, I don't want to help you no more, I want to rule you, there's a problem. You're not going to get the kingdom like that. Or the man that's in charge goes, well, why can't she be my equal? That's not what we're reading. You're getting that foolishness from poor white trash. And I say poor white trash for a reason. Because the upper echelon of white folks don't teach that. You get these little peon whites out here that say that, push that. You go around, when you're around the Bushes and all them people, the Rothschilds, the men rule everything. You don't even see their wives. You rarely see them. Because they know there's an order. These other nations, when you look into, they got the men out there in the front. But when it comes to black people, here comes the white man. You need equality. She's your equal. Why is it always like that with us? But with these other nations, you don't see that. The Most High is telling you here. Read it again.
Tobit chapter 8, verse 6. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve his wife for an helper and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
She got to play her role. You brothers, you got to play your role. Do not mix the roles. That's why I go back to 1 Corinthians 11 again. This is why Paul had to get on that. You had a feminist movement in the Church of Corinth. Yeah.
Can I bring something on that?
Yeah.
That Tobit, it said a man not to be alone. That goes with that Jude 19, where we can't separate ourselves. Mm-hmm. They said they don't want to congregate. You don't supposed to be alone. So we're supposed to complicate and assemble.
1 Corinthians 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
So Paul was warning them. He said, keep the laws the way I gave them to you. Why? Because there was a problem. Watch the next verse.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
Why did he have to start off with that? because when he got to Corinth, there was a problem. These men had the woman set up over them. He said, what the hell is this that I'm seeing? That is not the order. That is not God's law. So we had to lay it out for him again. Y'all see that? He had to make it plain for him. Because if you want the Spirit of the Most High to work through you, everything must be in order to what he says. Once you put something out of order, he's not going to operate. You're going to be worked with, but it will not be of the Lord. It will be the damn devil the Bible speaks of. Like when you see Christian churches, who's ruling in those Christian churches? Women. The women. You don't see no men up in there. If you see a man, he's effeminate. Go ahead, girl, go ahead. What the hell is this?
Hey, see, you heard what the elder just said, that if you try to go outside of the order of the Most High is not going to work with you. Because a lot of people may be upset with the order that the Most High set up. And that's going to do nothing but get you death. One scripture. Romans 9 and get the verse. And verse 20. That's all I want. Verse 20.
Romans chapter 9, verse 20. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Because you got some people that say, you know what? What we just read in Corinthians with the order, the Most High set up the order that way. And did the Most High make us? Did the Most High create us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, read that verse again.
Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Go ahead.
Shall the thing formed say
You're the thing that's replying against God. The big mouth. Come on. What?
Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
The Most High made men. He made women. He made order. He created all that thing. We are the subjects of his creation. How in the world are we going to jump up and say you can't do it that way? You understand? So whenever you try to go outside of that, you're not dealing with the Most High at all. And that's going to get a lot of people put to death because they're listening to the wrong counsel. You better listen to this counsel. Go ahead, Elder.
Right, go to Sirach and the Apocrypha.
Sirach, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Can we start up at verse 22?
Verse 22. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance.
I want you sisters to understand that. Men do not like sisters that just let themselves go. She don't want to comb her hair. She don't want to brush her teeth. She don't want to take care of herself no more. She look like Harriet Tubman now. And he roll over in the bed, he wake up, he open his eyes, and he see, what's that little Angela, what's her name? Maya Lou Angela. What the hell is this?
I'll tell you what he sees. He sees her getting dressed to go to work. And she gets all hooked up. And when she come home, she put on the flip-flops. Put on those big pink hair rollers.
Men don't like that. We're giving you some secrets here, sisters. Read that again.
The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better.
A man likes a beautiful looking woman. That's it. The Most High put that in us. Go ahead.
If there be kindness,
Now I want you sisters, because this is alien for some black women. 9 out of 10. This is hard for them. Read that again, verse 23.
if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Right, because he's kinging them out. He's kinging them out. Not only is his wife good looking, she's kind, she's meek and humble when she speaks, she say all the right things. He ain't like other men that walk around what? Depressed, nervous about what she gonna say. What my wife say? Oh, brother, you heard your wife over there saying? We see that in New York all the time. All the time. That's why brothers be scared to bring their wives. She gonna open her mouth and there's some bones gonna come out that the brother didn't want to come out. She gonna reveal you. She might not plan on it, but it's gonna happen. That's why when I met the deacons and them, I said, bring your wives. Before we can start anything, I want to meet your wives. Bring them. Because you can tell a lot about a man once you meet the woman. If she the devil on earth, guess what he is? The damn devil. I don't care how many scriptures he could quote. Meet his wife. It's gonna reveal everything about him. Whether he's weak, henpecked, stupid, whatever, she's gonna reveal it.
Exactly. We were in camp today, and there were some sisters that came up, and we went into the subject about pants, the women in pants. Now, and we were more in a teaching mode, so it wasn't, we weren't trying to tear anybody up. But right before we got to that portion of the teaching, we were talking about crafty counsel, and the crafty counsel that the nations have came together to conspire to destroy us. One of the things that they have done was cause our women to take on a masculine posture, and they've done that with pants. So when the elder was reading about this here in this verse, what's that verse you just read about the kindness?
Verse 23.
Verse 23. If they read it again, brother.
Rock 36 verse 23. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Excuse me. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue. If she's walking around in pants, she's not thinking about saying words of comfort to you. I want y'all to think about it. If she's walking around in pants, that puts on a masculine spirit. That's crafty counsel. Because if she's not going to be able to speak comfortable words to you, to make you feel like you're more, so you can fulfill your manhood role, so you can understand, the nation stays out of order. Our nation will never rise above anything if we men ain't running it. You understand? Because they'll cause confusion in the home, having a woman thinking that she's running everything, but she ain't running nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Women will always, listen to me carefully, women will always admire a man. Can I get a witness, sisters?
Yes.
Only one.
Maybe I went too deep. Let me say this. Let me say it like this here. There's always a man that women admire. You understand? When they raise their children up, they raise their children in the image of some man. It's supposed to be a husband. I want y'all to understand that. If it's not you, then it will be either the white man on TV, it will be the white pastor, it'll be the white doctor, whatever the situation. Thank you, brother. It will be it'll be some powerful man figure that she's gonna mold her sons after. You understand? So they always want a man to take his role. So, man, if you just gonna sit back and let it happen, then they're not gonna emulate you at all. Children will grow up and won't even respect their fathers or nothing. You follow me? Yes. That posture comes because they have not learned to bring the children up in your image. Because we have lost, as men, we have lost the dominance. You understand? And it has went over to the other side when they put pants on. You got the man walking around talking about something, I'll do the dishes. I'll do the laundry. You got to be kidding. Go ahead, Elder, before I get...
Well, you got some of these church ladies that raised their son up in the image of the white image of Jesus. Then she want to know why, when her son get older, he talking about two snaps up and what is that damn thing? Two snaps and a twist or whatever the hell that is. Why did my son turn out like? Because you raised him in the image of that white Jesus thing. That's why. What verse we at, Amaziah?
23.
Right.
If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
So, the sisters here must set an example. As women come into this congregation, they're gonna ask how are we supposed to act. They're supposed to be able to watch these sisters and say, okay, we're gonna dress like this, we're gonna do this. That's how when these brothers came to my apartment. Remember when I had the apartment? Yes, well, you wasn't married at the time, but he told their wives, watch Elder Nathaniel's wife.
A lot of people don't realize, because a lot of people say, man, that's pretty doggone drastic. That was a drastic thing you did. Our women don't realize the work that has been done on you. Mm-hmm. To cause you to be when I say you, I'm talking about our sisters that are still messed up. To cause our sisters to be in the state of mind that they're in. You know, somebody had mentioned in the camp today about the Willie Lynch situation.
Right. One of the sisters.
One of the sisters that came up there, and that's what happened. Those particular things that was done, you think that was cruelty? When you brothers start teaching those classes, when you start opening up those classes, you're going to go into some of those subjects and show the damage that was done to our women to cause them to be against their man like this here. Okay? So I say all that, and I'm going to give the elder back his class. As I sit here and I see how you come in, it's a marvelous thing to see sisters in order.
Right, it is.
That is something that you don't readily see. But to see that thing, it's a beautiful thing. I can only imagine if our whole nation was in order like this.
Sirach, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
So that's what y'all all need to understand. Brothers, when you get a wife, it says you begin. You know what it means? It says you begin a possession. Like when you get a car. When you first get that car, how do you deal with that car?
Take care of it.
You take care of it. You polishing it. You take care of the wheels. You're doing everything.
You won't even put cheap gas in it.
So the Bible says when you get a wife, you begin a possession because she is your possession. She takes on your name. You don't take her name. She takes your surname. Okay? And Lord's will in the future, what is our surname to be? Israel. Not nigga kumbaya, not that, but Israel. Read that again.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself.
Now, when you got this possession, you take care of her. It says she's to be a help, like you. She's the female alternate of you. Okay, read that again.
A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest.
And a pillar of rest. A pillar of rest. When you come home, that's be your comfort zone. She's supposed to be a pillar of rest. Things go wrong in the house, the Bible says she's supposed to be a pillar of rest to you. A pillar holds up the ceiling, right? Keeps things together. Make sure it don't fall apart. That's what she's supposed to be doing that. Making sure if you ain't around, she's keeping it down. She's holding it down. Not running around, I don't know what to do. She's supposed to know. She's a help like unto you. Okay? Read.
Where no hedges.
The hedge is the word of the Most High. That's supposed to be in her mind. Go ahead.
There the possession is spoiled.
The possession that you got will be spoiled. If these words are not in her mind and her spirit, she's going to be spoiled. Spoiled meaning what? She's going to be out there in the world getting tapped by Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's what it's talking about.
Right. Read that part again.
Read it again.
The hedge.
Where no hedges.
If you husbands don't gird your wives up, that's what it's going into also. If you don't gird her up and teach, like I said in the beginning, what was the first part you read? He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, and the brothers gave an example. You make sure that the possession is you don't let nobody mess it up. Like you do with your car, you shine it up. You don't put cheap gas in it. If it makes a little rattle, you already fixing it. You don't want nothing out of place. That's how you deal with your wife. Okay? To make sure that nothing is wrong with her, because she's got the kids and all of that. You don't let nobody mess with your woman. You follow me? That's how you protect that. By you protect her with this. Make sure that she's girded and wise in the scriptures, so that when somebody comes with some stupidness, she shut that down immediately.
And that
fortifies the heart. That fortifies the whole house. Now imagine if we all did that. That's what I'm saying. The power is when the scripture said, "For behold, the kingdom of heaven is within you." I literally believe that. Okay. Once we harness that kind of thinking, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. Because when the Most High sees his people doing what he says, let the nations step to us, and the Most High said, that's it, time to wipe them out. Boom. Okay? But we are the apple of the Most High's eye. And anybody that touches that apple gonna catch hell. Okay?
Read that again.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that had no wife will wander up and down mourning.
That's why some brothers got attitudes, because they ain't got no wife. The Bible said it's not good for man to be alone. That's why you see brothers on YouTube wandering up and down, looking for what? What are they looking for? Hoes, prostitutes.
Yeah.
They walk up and down mourning. I don't know what to do. I need a woman.
And some are too weak to deal with a woman. So then they go to the doggone YouTube and go to these different places and then curse a woman out. Say that she ain't no good
Exactly.
because they can't deal with it.
Right. Go to Psalms 144. Psalms 144. So I said earlier at the beginning of the lesson, the women gonna get their glory too, just like the man gonna get his, but it's gonna be done in order. Christ gonna get his glory and honor, followed by the man, followed by the woman. That's exactly how it's gonna go down. You got it? Yeah, verse 12.
Psalms 144, verse 12. That our sons may be as plants growing up in their youth.
So our sons shall be as plants grown up in their youth, meaning strong. Go ahead.
That our
daughters
may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace.
just let you know, our daughters gonna be bad. Our sons and our daughters gonna be bad. You ain't gotta worry about being out of shape. That's gonna be done away with. Now that ain't an excuse not to work out.
Right.
But I'm just letting you know, in the kingdom, when it's established, our sons and daughters gonna be bad. Read that again.
That our sons may be as plants growing up in their youth. That our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a
You know how
palace.
beautiful a palace looks when it's decorated? It says that's how our daughters gonna look. Bad to the bone. From there, let's go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 9. Now I'm going over this because the women are going to play a pivotal role in the upkeep of this nation. As long as you men, keep your mind focused on the Lord, the women are going to keep their mind focused as well. Okay? You got it for me?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman.
So you men, get that in your mind first. You were not made to serve her. You men were not made to serve her. So whoever's thinking that, brush that thought out. That ain't right. That's that Babylon the Great, 50-50 poor white trash train of thought. Get rid of that thought, right?
But the woman for the man.
The woman was made for the man. The woman was made for the man and not the other way around. And the only ones that's going to get the kingdom are those that accept that. You got that feminist, I don't accept that. You're a male chauvinist, then bye-bye. Like what you said, they walking charcoal. Ready to get burnt up.
Like that.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's
Walking
going to happen. Okay? Now, every woman, like Deacon Yawasop was saying, supports some man. The Negropean woman supports a man. Oh, did I say the wrong word? I said Negropean. The Negropean woman supports some man. What do I mean by the Negropean woman? The Negropean woman is the black woman who identifies and assimilates to the white woman. She's Negropean. Okay, now how do you identify her? How do you identify her? How do you identify the Negro? I'm gonna be nice. One of the first ways to identify the Negropean woman, she is wearing the European woman's hair on top of her head. So the Israelite woman, she's supposed to support her man. That's what she's supposed to do. The Negropean woman will fight her man. That's what she does. Everything you say, she will fight against you. Okay? But the white woman, if we notice, she supports her man. So the Negropean woman, she's going to support a man, but it ain't going to be you. She's going to support that white man.
Yeah, she's in competition against the white woman to support him.
Exactly. That's why I got that crafty counsel like that movie Scandal. That show Scandal. All that's to indoctrinate the black woman to fall in love with the white man. And every other show, the white man got his shirt off, he's in his drawers, running through the scene like, how is this? All that's to get the woman, entice the woman. Okay,
That's how he set up headquarters in her head.
Yeah,
That's how that happens.
Hey, not only is it headquarters in her head, it's on top of her head too. So the sign of a Negropean woman, she got the dead hair of the white woman sewn or glued in her head. She's crazy. She's the only woman on earth that does that. No other race does that. So now, but let me tell you this. You might want to go home and tell a woman, take that damn thing out your head. it's going to be a mental, she might break down and go psychotic. You know how they say you got to wake them up out of the dream slowly? Don't just scream at them, because they might crack and go crazy.
Traumatized.
Don't traumatize them. You got to, that's why when these scriptures come out, let the woman get her mind right. Before you know it, she's going to say, you know what, I'm not going to sow this in my head no more. I'm going to stop doing that because I'm looking crazy.
You know one of the best ways to do that? I'm just saying in general.
Don't snatch it off. She might go
One of the best ways that you do that is you bring her around sisters who have their minds right. Okay, you follow what I'm saying? Like what the elder gave the example about his wife. A lot of our wives was out of order. And if you didn't know how to actually help get them right, bring them around the women that are in order. That's the important roles that you women have. Y'all got to show when these sisters come in here, their minds are messed up. Y'all know that. They're going to have to look at, and they're going to have to see an example, because where they're going to see this at? They're not going to turn on NBC, Fox News or whatever. They're not going to see this on regular television. They're not going to read it in a regular book in their library. They really don't have a way of finding out how to really live. You follow what I'm saying? There's no real program out here that really teaches our men how to be real men. Neither are there real programs out here to teach our women how to be women. Y'all follow what I'm saying? The only way you're going to come and get this is y'all have to look at examples, righteous examples, and follow that.
And you know what? Like my wife, they sit around, some women, I ain't saying all, but there's some, they sit around and study Essence Magazine. Let me tell you about Essence Magazine. Essence Magazine is the black woman's version of Vogue Magazine. You heard of Vogue Magazine? All of this Essence is
Cosmopolitan.
Right, or Cosmopolitan, teaching the black woman how to be white. Now, there was one author named, what was her name, Suzanne Taylor?
Yeah.
Now, I met that sister. She was all right, Suzanne Taylor. She ain't the editor anymore. But she was in this, I met her in person a few times. And what they used to do is show the women how to take care of, I'm going back to the hair for a second, back to the hair. Because these magazines now, Essence and all that, they teach the women how to put these relaxers in their hair. And what do these relaxers end up doing? Breaking their hair off, balding their hair. Their hair might look unwhiteable for a few days, but after that, it starts to break at the ends. They may get, what's that called, alopecia? On the sides, starts breaking the hair off. The hairline started here. After using relaxer, now the hairline's back here. And for some reason, some of y'all black women can't understand, I should not be doing this. This is messing me up. Stop doing it. So the same way they took time to read magazines, how to get your hair silky, smooth, and all that stuff. There's things they can read to take care of their natural, God-given hair. Okay.
And there's another component in that too. You brothers can't be looking for white features in the black woman.
Right.
Like, wow, we don't like her because she wears her hair natural or whatever.
Right.
And have her, why don't you look like Beyonce or something like that? And the sisters will do that just to please you because they think that's what you like.
That's right.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
So you brothers with the hard-headed wife, now you know why. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. Now you know why your mama's against you, your dad is against you. Because that is prophecy. That's what Christ said will happen. Why? Because everybody in that house don't want to do right. They don't want to get right. All right? What I call them CGR brothers and sisters. Can't get right. Can't get right. Okay? You went down to 37?
No.
Go ahead.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Y'all see that? So if you love your mother, father, daughter, son, wife, husband more than the Lord, you're not worthy. You cannot be his disciple. You got to be able to drop everything that is against the Lord. If you ain't willing to drop it, then this is not for you. It's not for you. From there, go to Acts 8:1. this part here for all the various schools that the Most High is blessing us with that are sprouting up across the country one by one. And this one here is the 7th. See, I got it on film. It's the 7th.
Acts chapter 8, verse 1.
Now I want you men to listen good to this.
And Saul was consenting unto his death. And at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem.
Now I want y'all to understand this. I don't know what the future's gonna bring too much, except what the Bible is lined up. Anything that happens to the New York school or to any of the schools, y'all make sure, try your best to keep this place open and keep this truth going. Read it again. I want y'all to see what they did.
And Saul was consenting unto his death. And at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem.
So just like in the past, you're going to have many of these, you see the little Hamite African churches over here? Believe, watch, they may turn on you one day. Why? Because they're going to realize Christ said you should be hated of who? All nations. Everybody's against this truth. All nations are against this truth. So you sisters, don't be shocked and get scared. The prophecy has already been written. Read.
And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles.
So the apostles held the line. Those men that were scattered, when you read on, they kept teaching. They didn't stop, they kept teaching. Nothing's going to stop this truth. This is what I want you men to understand. Nothing is going to stop this truth. This is the mustard seed. It starts so small, it's going to be the biggest, it's going to dwarf the earth. That's what you men must understand. Nothing that happens is going to stop this truth. That was down to verse 4?
No.
Go ahead.
And devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentation over him.
Go ahead.
As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house and hailing men and women committed them to prison. Therefore, they that were scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the word.
So when y'all read this, you got to really ask, Dad, could that happen again in these last days? Now, they got laws set up, but there's nothing preventing America from changing their laws. Okay, there's nothing preventing them from changing laws. Like in Canada, I don't know how many of you have ever been to Canada, they have laws against teaching against homosexuality. They said it's illegal to read Leviticus 20:13. All right, because we got a few brothers up there was letting us know about this. So these are things you got to be mindful of, and they want to bring that law here to America. Okay, North America. So many things can happen, but I want you men and women to be prepared in this truth. From there, go to Acts 12. We're almost done. Acts 12 and 1.
Acts chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
So they went against the leaders. The apostles that Christ set up, there was a plot with Herod and them to get the leaders. Because in Acts 8, they was getting the body of the membership. Herod said, let's get the heads, let's get the leaders. But guess what? In these last days, how many leaders are there going to be? 144,000. It's going to be damn near impossible for them to do it. They might take me out or the other deacons, but that's all right. You brothers, we got to keep it moving, keep it going. Don't let nothing stop you. Come hell or high water, keep this truth going. Because we're going to see you again.
Yeah, but about to say that.
We're going to see you again. No matter what happens. We don't?
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Now we just read in the bottom of verse 3. What were we celebrating? Feast of Unleavened Bread. Easter was not our custom. That was not. The heathens celebrated that. The heathens celebrated that. Give me Matthew 24:37.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Listen good.
For as in the days that were before the flood,
So he's relating this to the coming destruction. That's what he's comparing the flood of old time to the coming destruction. Go ahead.
they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark,
Go ahead.
and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
This is what I want y'all to see. You got brothers running around talking about FEMA camps, everything that's going to happen. Listen, Christ said here, it's going to be like it was in the days of Noah. He's telling you, they were marrying, giving into marriage, eating and drinking. What does that mean? Business as usual. Now, there may be certain parts where certain Israelites catch hell, but that's not going to be all over the country. Understand that. That's why when you read in Revelation 1, Revelation 2 about the 7 churches, give me that.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 13.
Listen good. Now, this is about the 7 churches. 7 major churches in Asia Minor. Watch this.
I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan seateth, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwelleth.
So this brother, Antipas, was put to death. Now, this death that happened to him, that didn't happen in all the other 6 churches. It was only at that one church. Y'all, you brothers understand me? Y'all with me? You see that? This man was put to death in this one church. It didn't happen in all the churches. You understand that? So don't think what happens in one school is going to happen with all of them. That's what I want you to understand. Get your minds right. Okay, go back to Matthew. I'm sorry, give me Revelation 12:17. Revelation 12:17.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
The dragon here is the so-called white man. The dragon here is the so-called white man. Go ahead.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
The woman is Israel, the elect. Read it again, the whole verse.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
And the white man was wroth with the elect of Israel, the 1/3 of Israel. Read.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
So in preparing yourselves, understand, Esau's going to do certain things in certain camps that are rising up, keeping God's commandments. Understand, that's what I want you brothers to understand. He's going to do certain things. Now, primarily, the main thing he's going to do, he's not going to run around shooting people because there's laws already set up for that. But what he is going to do is bring out doctrines and philosophies and infiltrators. We went over that in classes previous, so just keep your mind open for that.